Hey, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, all honor, all praises to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, to the hope that there is Israel. This is your brother Shema Shawan coming back with another lesson. And this lesson is regarding the weekly Sabbath. You got the naysayers out here, uh, confusing the people with this lunar Sabbath garbage. Lunar Sabbath garbage. The Most High never set up a lunar Sabbath like that, right? So, the Father, Yahweh, He gives His calendar in Genesis chapter 1 and 14. Here it is right here. So this is Yahweh's calendar right here, right? It says, Genesis 1:14, it says, and Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So this is the Father's calendar right here. So you're going to need all of these elements here, right? The sun, the moon, and the constellations to all coincide together, you know what I'm saying, to get the Father's actual calendar. Now these dudes are misquoting Philo, our forefather Philo, right? Because Philo, he never supported that that lunar Sabbath garbage. Philo never supported that, and I don't have the material at hand with me. But if you go and check them out, you're going to see the brother Philo is never supporting the lunar Sabbath, because I don't know when you if you guys have ever tried to track a new moon. That's very difficult, right? Tracking a new moon, right? So, in my years that Yahweh has given me, I've only seen, through the grace of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, maybe 3 new moons, right? And these are just recently, within like the last 5 years. So it would be difficult. So you would have to first find the new moon and then start to count. That's difficult. Yahweh is not going to make this thing difficult, especially for His weekly Sabbath, right? He's not going to make that difficult like that, right? So here, let's go to the Genesis chapter 2, right? Watch this. Genesis 2 from the top, it says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them, right? And on the seventh day, Yahweh ended His work which He had made, and He rested on the seventh day from all His work which He had made, right? And Yahweh blessed the seventh day. That's 3 witnesses. Remember, you need 2 or 3 witnesses to establish any matter, right? And Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it He had rested from all His work which Yahweh created and made. So we see that Yahweh sanctifies the seventh day. The weekly Sabbath is going to be is going to be from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Now you're going to hear those naysayers talking about how we adopted the Roman calendar, and we know that the Julian calendar and all those calendars were off. We know that we're currently in the Gregorian calendar. We know those calendars were off, but we never, our people, Yasharala, never prescribed to all that garbage. We knew our 7-day week, because Yahweh set that thing up for us. Okay, so you're going to see that these people try to use this scripture to promote their garbage. Let's go over to Leviticus 23. Let's go to Leviticus 23, because they're going to call it a festival. And we're going to see that you're going to see festival in the scriptures one time, right? Okay, let's go to Leviticus 23. Right, let's get there right quick. From the top it says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, and said to them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. So we see these feast days here, right? But Yahweh is going to illustrate in verse 3 His weekly Sabbath. He's not talking about a feast right here in verse 3. See it? It says, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings, right? So now he's going to pick it up in verse 4, right? and give you all of his feast days, which are Passover, Pentecost, right? Tabernacles. He's going to give you, see it? Leviticus 23:4 says, see, these are the feast of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season. And the first one he breaks out is a Passover. See it? And if you keep on reading, you're going to get all the feast days. So now Yahweh, I'm saying, is proclaiming the feast days here, not in verse 3. He's not doing that, okay? So here, let's go look at this word, Slaki. Here, so let's go and look at the NIV in Leviticus chapter 23, okay? This is the NIV, Leviticus 23:2. It says, speak to the Israelites and say unto them, these are my appointed feasts, Slakia. These are my appointed festivals, right? So now this is the NIV, defining, festivals here. But we're going to see it one more time in the scriptures, right? It says, the appointed festivals of Yahweh, which ye are to proclaim as sacred assemblies. And then he does it again in verse 3. So now Yahweh, he's going to exclude, right, those festivals, and he's going to include the weekly Sabbath, because this is what we do regularly. Every 7 days, this is to be done from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. See, it says Leviticus 23:3. It says, there are 6 days when ye may work, but the 7th day is the day of Sabbath rest, a day of sacred assembly. Ye are not to do any work wherewith ye live. It is a Sabbath to Yahweh. And he's going to do it again here, right? For it says, these are Yahweh's appointed festivals. See, the sacred assemblies ye are to proclaim at their appointed times, right? And he goes right into the all three: Passover, unleavened bread, Pentecost, and tabernacles. So they misconstruing that, right? The Most High ain't never did no stuff like that to make this his beautiful 7th-day Sabbath so confusing. Here, let's get that right quick. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Man, that's confusing, man. You can't do that like that. These people are just ridiculous. And we're going to see Yahweh Shai warned us about these devils, even our people. Israel is something else. There's nothing new under the sun with these people. Okay, Slakia. Let's go to Slakia about that. Let me get that right quick. Right. Yeah. That'll be confusion. Man, come on now. You don't know what it is. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, in the presentation, you have to find the new moon first. That is difficult. Yahweh, that's why Yahweh had, certain tribes, Issachar, that was their job, to understand those times, in seasons, according to First Chronicles 12 and 32. So here, let's go to 1 Corinthians 14. Let's get that, right? 1 Corinthians 14 and 33 says, for Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So that's confusion, man. You're trying to ask these people to ask us to find, you got to first find the new moon, right? And then when you find the new moon, if, Yahweh, allows us to find it, because now, suppose it's cloudy outside, and you can't see it. How do you do that? Suppose you have cloud cover for a whole week during the new moon. You can't even find it. But now we had customs in place and fundamentals in place. If we were confronted, with cloudy events, we knew how to do that. But we don't know how to do that now. Here, these people are ridiculous. So now, Akim, I'm gonna go over to an Akwath. I'm gonna go to the Greek Septuagint here, And we're going to get it in the Greek Septuagint. Let me see what this Greek, let's see what the Greek Septuagint is. So here's the definition for a Septuagint. It says a Greek version of the Hebrew Bible or Old Testament, including the Apocrypha, made for Greek-speaking Jews in Egypt in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC, right? And adopted by the early Christian church, all right? So we see what the Greek Septuagint is, and let's see what the Greek Septuagint say on the matter of the Leviticus 23. Let's get it. The Greek Septuagint. This is Leviticus 23 from the top. Right? It says, and Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say, and thou shalt say unto them, the feasts of Yahweh which ye shall call holy assemblies, these are my feasts. So again, right, talking about the feasts, right? So verse 3, the feasts are going to be excluded here, and the feasts are going to be picked up and mentioned in verse 4, right? See, look at 3. It says, 6 days shalt thou do work, but on the 7th day it is a Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation to Yahweh. Thou shalt not do any work. It is a Sabbath to Yahweh in all your dwellings. Now he's going to pick up the feast that he mentioned in verse 2. See, it says these, the feast of Yahweh, holy convocations, which ye shall call in their seasons. And he goes right into it. Passover, unleavened bread, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, so now we understand that, right? So let's go and see where we see festivals at, okay? Because these people try to utilize the festival, you know what I'm saying, to make an argument, which is a false argument. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and 45. And even it's going to illustrate and explain, it's going to separate here, right? So this is 1 Maccabees 1 and 45. It says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths, right, and the festival days. So we see a clear distinction between the Sabbaths and the festival days, okay? And the festival days are going to be the high days, okay? Passover, unleavened bread, Pentecost, you know what I'm saying? The blowing of the trumpet, and tabernacles. It makes a distinction here, right? So that's why we went there, okay? But Yahweh warned us about these people, man. He warned us about these people. Let's go to Matthew 24. Watch out when you got these people, man. Ridiculous, man. You know, causing this error, telling people, you know, you got to find a new moon, and then you would start, you know, you would honor the Sabbath, or the Yahweh's Sabbath, according to the Genesis 2, whenever you find a new moon. Suppose you can't find it. Now what do? Okay? Makes no doggone sense. Okay? So this is Mashiach Yahawashi. This is Matthew 24 and 4. And Mashiach answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. These people are deceived. These people are reprobate. Don't follow these people, man, who misconstrue Yahweh's weekly Sabbath. That is so sacred, Yahweh's weekly Sabbath. Oh, well, all his high days are. But the weekly Sabbath is a regular event that we have to adhere to, okay? Let's go to 2 Timothy. Let's go to 2 Timothy, because you're going to see these people. Just like our brother Solomon told us, there's nothing new under the same. You got these same wicked spirits in the earth now as you did back then. So this is 2 Timothy 4, and let me get verse 3. It says, For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. See that? These are the fables, talking about a new moon and a lunar moon and all of that. You can't find that. All right? Let's get some more. Let's go to Colossians. Yahweh warned us of these devils. These are devils, man, to take you out of that. So this is Colossians 2:8. It says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men. This is the tradition of men doing this. For after the rudiment of the world, and not of Mashiach Yahweh. That's not of Mashiach Yahweh. We read earlier how Yahweh is not the author of confusion. All right, let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Don't follow these devils. Yahweh's Sabbath is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Right? And even I mentioned Philo earlier in the lesson. You know, we we know that they misconstrue Philo, right? Philo never prescribed to a lunar Sabbath. But if he did or he didn't, I'm going to the scriptures, right? The scriptures, you can't break these. How would say you can't break these scriptures? The scriptures are the fundamentals. You know, we use all these other things as tools, like the blue letter and all that stuff. These are tools in which we use. Those tools don't trump the scriptures, right? Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And we're going to get verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a great falling away first. So this is the great falling away right here. They're falling away from Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. They're falling away, right? Okay. 8, it says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Yeah, a lunar Sabbath garbage. 12, it says, that they all might be damned to believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So we see that Yahweh, I'm saying, is going to illustrate, right, simply what his Sabbath is, right? Let's get one more. Let's go to Ephesians. Watch these devils. Believe these devils, these dudes are something else. Ridiculous. And we know, you know, in these times, in these latter times, you know, that you would have all these different garbage doctrines coming in, you know, leading people away. We have to stay on the straight path, which is Mashiach Yahweh. There's no other way. Yahweh is our only recourse. So we listen and we follow the Lamb, right, which is Mashiach Yahweh. We don't go to the left or to the right. So this is Ephesians 4 and 14. It says, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. So we see that we have to continue, you know, in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. We pray that Yahweh keeps his spirit in us. Let's go over there and get that right quick. David prayed for that, right? And so that Yahweh may give us righteous discernment, okay? And not be puffed up, but meek and fearing and loving Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and our brother and sisters, okay? Let's go to Psalms 51. David prayed this prayer. This is Psalm 51 and 10. It says, create in me a clean heart, O Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and renew a right spirit within me. It says, cast me not away from thy presence, and please take not thy Holy Spirit away from me. So I pray that this lesson was edifying through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. The Sabbath is Yahweh's Sabbath. Let me be clear with that. Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Sabbath is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So once again, I want to give all glory, all praises, all honor to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.